Hey NBA fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today we have a fresh batch of NBA news and rumors to get into. Still a lot of stuff happening right now in the offseason of the NBA. Let's go ahead and jump right into the first one, and this continues to keep revolving around Carmelo Anthony. That's a growing story here. This is new though, so apparently a former NBA player is coming to the defense of Carmelo Anthony while also attacking one LeBron James. So remember, the whole story, you guys know it, Carmelo Anthony only played like 10 games last season, hasn't played essentially a full year until from like 2 years ago with the Oklahoma City Thunder. But Royce White, a former NBA player, called out LeBron James saying he is to blame for the reason that Carmelo Anthony is not on a roster. Here's the quote, we'll throw it up right now. Quote, "All of us here that played the game at the highest level know how good Melo is, and we know that there's no way the Lakers would go out and sign Jared Dudley and not sign Carmelo Anthony." Now, he gets into a little more detail in this article that I was reading where Royce White essentially says, listen, LeBron James acts like he's buddy-buddy with Carmelo Anthony. He mentions the banana boat, right? The whole tube process on the water, the picture we most famously see with Chris Paul, and goes into the fact that there's no way that if LeBron James wanted Carmelo Anthony or liked Carmelo Anthony, that he would not be on the Los Angeles Lakers team. This is very interesting. Now, is it more of a boycott of Carmelo Anthony, or is it more of a boycott of the fact that Carmelo Anthony wants to start? That's my question to you guys here, because again, throw up the Melo versus Dudley comparison. It's obvious if you look at just numbers who is better. Melo, of course, 13.4 points per game, 4.9 compared to Jared Dudley has 4.9 points per game in comparison. Melo, right about the same assists, does shoot a little bit worse from the field, but does shoot about 5% better from three-point range. Again, you're looking just at numbers, Carmelo Anthony is obviously the choice here, but I will present it to you guys again. Is it blackballing Carmelo Anthony? Are they purposely trying to keep Carmelo out of the league? Or is it simply the fact that Carmelo might project like, hey, I'll do whatever it takes to be on a team. Whenever he gets there, though, he turns face and goes, well, I'm Carmelo Anthony, right? I remember to go with the Knicks. I kind of need to start here. Let me be in your starting rotation. Why is that guy starting over me? That is my question. I'm curious what you guys think here, though. Should Carmelo Anthony be on a roster? And more specifically, is he being kept off of rosters on purpose? Because not just the Lakers, there are still plenty of other teams out there who potentially could use his services. But again, I urge you, does Carmelo actually want to be a starter? Or does Carmelo Anthony want to simply just be a role player? Those are the questions we got to ask, and we'll see going forward. But the question I present to you guys first is Carmelo, or will Carmelo actually be on a roster? Let me know in the comment section down below. How about this next one? Giannis not at full strength. Scary to think about, but it's actually, it might possibly be true. So Giannis turns 25 in December, and last year he posted the 12th best player efficiency rating of all time, like in the history of the NBA. He won the NBA or the NBA MVP, defensive player of the year runner-up. But he recently told ESPN that he thinks that he's about 60% of his potential, 60% of as good as he can be. Boy, that is scary for the rest of the NBA if that is actually true. If the Giannis that we saw, who won the NBA Most Valuable Player award just a year ago, is only at 60%, then is he potentially going to become the greatest player of all time? I tried to dive into the numbers to figure out where he thinks he can improve, and for me, it's really obvious, right? Basically, 30 points per game, shot 57% from the field, 25% from three, 5.9 assists. Then he also had like 12 rebounds. So obviously, they want to focus in on the three-point percentage because much like Ben Simmons, he's really Giannis is not a big-time three-point shooter. Now, he does actually take them, unlike Ben Simmons the past couple of years. But again, when you're only hitting 25% from three at the position that he plays, at the elite level he wants to play at, it doesn't really transition well over in the modern NBA. That's where he obviously needs to improve. Now, what people won't realize is that his field goal percentage, 57.8%, in my opinion, would need to go down for him to improve. I'll explain why. Giannis basically lives inside 10 feet. Giannis is a very much at at the basket above the rim player. He's not a jump shooter. Can't pull up from 15, doesn't really pull up from 20, doesn't like to find, the free throw line area. He likes to get in the lane, dunk, layup, or get fouled. So you would need the field goal percentage to come down a little bit, get into the 40s, but that would tell us that he's starting to shoot more long range. And remember, the NBA is a shooter's league. LeBron James had to develop an outside shot. Giannis will have to develop one as well. And it's not just hitting threes, it's being able to pull up, maybe back someone down, reverse, pull up from 15 feet from the corner, or drive baseline and hit like a 20-foot jumper from the free throw line. Those are things that Giannis must improve on, and that would actually make sense as to why he thinks he's 60% of his full potential. You can see another, 20% going to three-point shots and 20% going to long-range shots. It's scary to think about. Will it all be solved next year? No. I think Giannis is still a 2 or 3 year process before he's actually like, holy cow, this guy is as elite as they come. But even right now, Giannis is pretty darn good. All right, question for you guys here. Is Giannis a top 3 player in the game right now? A lot of people would say yes, but remember when KD's healthy, KD, LeBron, you gotta throw someone else in there like a Harden or Paul George or an Anthony Davis. Where does Giannis rank in terms of the top players in the NBA? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, this was very interesting. So NBA.com conducted their annual rookie survey where they essentially give every single NBA rookie a survey and they vote on each other. So the survey can have them, voting on best shooter, best future superstar, biggest steal. These are all questions that rookies are quizzed on essentially or surveyed on in terms of trying to figure out who they think is the best in their class. What's surprising is where Giannis was ranked. So the most important one here is best career. Because again, there was best shooter, there was most talented, most hyped, I think. There was also most likely to win a championship. The big one was who will be the most successful, who will have the best career. And here are the top 5 vote receivers. 1 was not Zion, it was actually Cam Reddish of the Hawks out of Duke. 2 was Ja Morant, 3 was DeAndre Hunter, 4 was RJ Barrett, and 5, actually tied for 5th with a couple of other players like a Kobe White, is actually Zion Williamson with about 5% of the vote. So right away, you can see that a lot of his peers are very high on Cam Reddish. Now we heard that Cam Reddish, again, has kind of a motor issue, kind of an effort issue, has all the talent, but again, kind of sunk behind RJ Barrett and Zion Williamson. But at the same time, all of his peers voted him, essentially, or he was the #1 vote receiver, on who could have the best career. So looking good for the Hawks right there. Ja, obviously, because it's a shooter in a guards league, that makes a lot of sense. DeAndre Hunter, up there with the Hawks as well. Travis Slink, the GM of the Atlanta Hawks, might have pulled off one of the best drafts in the past 10 years, being able to go up and get DeAndre Hunter, obviously won a national championship game with Virginia, and then to go get Cam Reddish, who again, all the other rookies think he might be the best player on or from that draft. So Zion at 5, though, is the focus here. And I think I know why it's 5, because they talk about career, right? Because I think there was probably a question where he was voted, I think, most likely to succeed now. It was Zion, but career-wise, the issue is his weight. Now, it's not the fact that he's fat, it's the fact that he's too heavy in the modern NBA to be able to protect his lower legs, essentially his knees, his quads, his hamstring, everything down there. You could see some future injury problems starting to occur. Look at the list of the heaviest players in the NBA. Boban right there, with Philadelphia, 290. He's the heaviest player in the league. Now, he's also over 7 foot tall. Zion, 285. The guy is really, really heavy. Andre Drummond's third, 279 pounds. Jahlil Okafor, 275. And Yusuf Nurkic is 275 as well. Now, you might go, oh, well, they're all bigs. Well, Zion's not 7 foot. Everyone else is 7 foot and above. So, like, their height can actually be extended a little bit. Crazy just to see how heavy Zion is compared to the other centers. Again, Zion is probably the most athletic, most explosive, most NBA-ready player from this past draft. But career-wise, longevity-wise, injuries are the concern. I think it shows here in the NBA rookie survey when they voted Cam Reddish #1. Question here. Who out of the NBA rookies will have the best career? Type C for Cam Reddish, type Z for Zion Williamson, type O for others in the comments down below. Again, the comment section is always, for me, for us at Chat Sports to gauge the fans. So you guys watch the video, you have a thought, you come down in the comments, boom, 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 type it all out, and then we can look at it and actually gauge how the fan base is viewing. Very interesting on this one. Who will have the best career? Reddish, Zion, or someone else? Let us know in the comments down below. All right, quick little Laker update here as the Lakers continue to look for a potential center replacement for DeMarcus Cousins. Remember, Boogie tore his ACL just last week. The Lakers were rumored, and actually were, working out Kyle Kuzma at center. So he's at Team USA with Craig Popovich. He's working out at center there because, again, he's like 6'9". He's a very, very tall player who could potentially play in a Warrior-type death lineup with LeBron at the 4, or maybe actually AD at the 4, LeBron at the 3, and work your way out there, Kuzma at the 5. But the rumors were also circled around the fact that they were looking at Dwight Howard to be a replacement at center. The new name? Marcin Gortat, who we last saw with the Clippers, averaged about 5 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, but very, very healthy. It can be counted upon to play a lot of games. He's only missed one start in his last 1,035 games since dating back to the day that he was drafted. Now, he is 35 years old. Age is going to be an issue with a lot of these centers right here, but now your center options have grown. Gortat, Dwight Howard, Joakim Noah, and Maurice Speights are all rumored to potentially have workouts with the Lakers. Would they take Gortat over Dwight Howard? Dwight's the most talented. And if you get Dwight to focus in on this and really, give it his all and not worry about making jokes and being soft, as Kobe called him, I think Dwight could make a lot of sense. But again, it's about who will mesh well with the team, who will mesh well with LeBron James, and who will mesh well with Frank Vogel, the head coach up there in Los Angeles as well. Again, there's still rumors that the Lakers might not sign a center. They run with JaVale McGee and then Kuzma at the 5. Do you guys think the Lakers will actually end up signing a center? Let me know down below. If you want to guess which one it is, go for it. I still think they will. And the rumors about Dwight Howard continue to pick up, so I think Dwight Howard is probably going to be the choice. Final story here on our NBA news and rumors video for today on Chat Sports. James Harden took to the radio airwaves to vent about the fact that he did not win the NBA MVP. He actually called out the media in a radio interview about essentially being the main issue with why he did not win MVP. Remember, Giannis won MVP last year. Harden finished runner-up. So here's the quote from James Harden saying, quote, "Once the media, they created a narrative about somebody from the beginning of the year, I think they just take that narrative and just run with it the entire year." He would go on to talk about how, essentially, he had like 32 points, or 32 games straight where he scored 30 points or more, and it was some ridiculous record that people hadn't seen in years, or broke the record or whatever, and he was like, I did this, yet I still lost. He has a point when it comes to that. He also has a point when it comes to the actual stats. Let's throw up a comparison. Harden versus Giannis. You have to see this before on national networks. Harden, 36 points per game to Giannis's 27. More assists. He shot it worse from the field goal range, but remember, we talked about it earlier, Giannis is shooting from 10 foot in, Harden is shooting from all around the floor, and of course, James Harden was a much better three-point shooter. So, is his argument valid? Yeah, I really think it is. I think a lot of people hold a little bit of animosity towards James Harden for being that ball hog type player. It's so funny to me because in the modern NBA, we love teams. Like, we love the San Antonio Spurs with Duncan and Parker and all that, and we love watching teams work well together, and yet we also love superstars who take over a game, and when LeBron drops 45, people freak out. When LeBron drops like 20 of the last 24 points in the fourth quarter, people are going absolutely insane. So, is there kind of an up and down here? Is there kind of a give and take? I think Harden has tapped into something saying that, listen, my stats were better. I statistically had a better year. I was probably more important to the Houston Rockets than Giannis was to the Bucks. But remember, the Bucks were winning more, and there's kind of this bad guy narrative around the fact that he's an isolation, ball hawk, ball dominant point guard. It's interesting how it works out. Now, is he 100% right? Still thought Giannis had an excellent year, right? I mean, it's kind of like, who do you pick? It's more like, who do you prefer? Do you prefer the Rockets and Harden? Do you prefer Giannis? Giannis is a more likable guy, in my opinion, so that probably plays into it as well. But remember, the media gets to vote on these things. The media has the final say, and perhaps Harden is correct on this one. Question: should James Harden have won the NBA MVP last year? I see a lot of debate down below. There's a lot of comments on this one. Was Harden robbed of the NBA award? Let me know in the comments down below. There you go. That's all the time we have for today on our NBA news and rumor video. You guys will probably like to see the video. It's like, oh, NBA stuff, what's happening? It can't be a lot. There's always a lot going on in the National Basketball Association. So be sure to subscribe to Chat Sports down below, and then that way you can be up to date whenever we release new videos, because guys, we release tons of videos a week here. So again, be sure to subscribe. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.